Welcome to Sports News. I'm Charles Eruka. Ahead of Thursday's kickoff date for the Nationals of the Channels Kids Cup, plans for this year's competition have been unveiled. At a press conference in Lagos, the organizers of the Under-13 football competition again stressed zero tolerance for age cheats in age-grade competitions, insisting any team found culpable will be banned from the games.
And they put a meter with an early chance, and that's a beautiful goal. Beautiful.
Four schools from Lagos have already tasted football action in the preliminaries of the Channels National Kids Cup, while 12 states are anxiously waiting for the national finals. To set the ball rolling is the press conference to herald the competition.
We believe that sports teaches us to work together to achieve a common goal. It's all about trust and responsibility and about dealing with success and failure.
For over 5 years, the football competition has continued to grow. It's no surprise the tournament is getting the needed support from Lagos State government and partners Golden Penny.
I think for these young children, this is another opportunity to become great stars like the ones they see on TV. It's a lot of hard work, but I think our own support for this tournament stems from the fact that it comes from the schools. Because as you know, I think our grassroots sports in Lagos is focused mainly on the schools. And like I said, a lot of these young kids, we talk about the skills they have at this age, but who knows, you know, the statistics will tell you.
It is not a win at all costs. And we're preaching this at the FA, that part of our eco-football ideology is that we need to look beyond just winning that match at all costs.
We're happy to be a part of this, and as a corporate and socially responsible organization, it's part of our responsibility to ensure that our kids enjoy nourishment.
What are the criteria for the 2014 edition?
The emphasis was on school team and not selected team. They must all be part of that school, no mercenary.
As is the tradition, the 2014 jersey for participating schools was unveiled, as well as official ball of the tournament.
Channels unveil this wonderful football that we use this tournament.
Irene Ewoma, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, ahead of the 2014 World Cup, heavy rains have destroyed some parts of the Manaus airport in Brazil. Part of the ceiling in the arrival and departure lounges collapsed, while the car park is flooded. Brazilian media reports say the Manaus airport renovations was inspected in April, and the federal prosecutor in Amazonas detected flaws and defects. 8 countries are scheduled to hold their matches in Manaus. They include Italy, England, Portugal, the United States, Cameroon, Croatia, Honduras, and Switzerland. Meanwhile, Portuguese soccer legend Luis Figo says Spain will not retain the World Cup in Brazil. Figo, who played in 2 World Cups, thinks history is against the defending champions. He believes home advantage may enable Brazil to carry on from where they left off last year in winning the Confederations Cup. He's also tipping Germany, Argentina, Portugal, and the Netherlands for the trophy. In club soccer, Atletico Madrid coach Diego Simeone is hopeful that star striker Diego Costa will be fit for the Champions League final on May the 24th. The 36-goal hitman, who was not trained with the La Liga champions since suffering a thigh injury against Barcelona, is a major doubt for the Madrid derby in Lisbon. He, however, remains positive about his chances, as well as those of midfielder Arda Turan. It's the 3rd time in recent months that Costa has had problems with his hamstring, but this is the first occasion where it's a tear rather than a strain. Well, that's it on Sports News. Ijoma will be back with the rest of the news at 10 shortly.
Unveiling the new look of Guinness. Discover a colorful world of more.
Well, over now to the foreign scene, where the Thai Prime Minister has urged the country's army to conduct their duties peacefully and act within the provisions of the Constitution. Well, this comes after the army announced earlier today the imposition of martial law to maintain law and order. Here's our correspondent Amarachi Ubani with more.
The army has emphasized the move should not be seen as a coup because the major aim is to restore law and order in the country. In the meantime, soldiers have taken over TV and radio stations in the capital, Bangkok, and are also taking over unoccupied government buildings. The recent unrest in the country began late last year when ousted Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra dissolved the lower house of parliament and demonstrators blockaded several areas of the capital. The number of casualties has gone up from the train accident that happened in Russia's capital, Moscow. The accident happened when the freight train carrying goods came off the rails near the town of Narofominsk and hit a passenger train which was carrying about 400 people. 5 people died at the scene, 6 died in hospital, and 45 people were injured, 25 of whom were taken to hospital for treatment. Next is a worrying situation in the Central African Republic, where the Seleka rebel group has announced it has reorganized to exercise greater control over its fighters. Seleka coordinator Abdoulaye Hissène said the group had organized a new chain of command to achieve this. Seleka has been involved in heavy fighting with Christian militia since March last year, displacing about 25% of the country's 4.6 million people. And finally, South African Paralympian Oscar Pistorius has been ordered by the courts in Pretoria to begin daily tests that will help assess his mental state at the time he killed his girlfriend, Reeva Steenkamp. As a result, Mr. Pistorius will be attending Westcopp's psychiatric hospital in Pretoria as an outpatient for a month. Therefore, court proceedings will resume on June 30. Those were today's major stories on the foreign scene. It's back to you.
Well, thanks a lot, Amarachi. And the main news again. Twin bomb explosions have rocked the central market in Jos, the Plateau State capital, while police put the death toll at 46. Emergency agencies say over 100 people died. The federal government has condemned the bomb attacks, describing them as evil and unreasonable. And the Senate today approved the extension of the state of emergency in the northeast by another 6 months. The Senate's decision follows an earlier approval of the extension by the House of Representatives. Well, that's the news at 10 tonight. Thanks so much for staying with us. I'm Ijoma Kunyato. Good night.